What's up guys, TC here and welcome to my brand new Starbound Vault Run series. So with this series I'm going to be going through each one of the different vault types, so fire, electric, poison, and ice. Today we're going to be going through the fire vault, and this is actually one of the first ones I went through, so you're going to see me discovering which type of gun to use, which type of, because there's multiple, you'll see there's machine enemies that are kind of weak to electrics, and you'll also see some fire enemies that resist my fire move, or my fire guns and stuff like that. So what I recommend for going through these things is definitely, like, you always want to be prepared, because these are not easy. I mean, I'm kind of a scrub, but they're still really challenging in my opinion, and you definitely want to carry at least 2 elemental type of guns, just in case, because you're going to find that some of these, you would think that, oh, the fire vault's just going to have fire monsters, so don't bring the fire guns. But that's not always true. Like, you'll see those machines, the little scandroids or whatever they are. Those aren't fire, so the fire weapons actually do extra damage to them, believe it or not. So in this one, I bring an electric one and a fire one. I think the electric one has an air burst on it. It's really, really good. The fire one's got a grenade, and they're just tier 6. I just got them off of a random tier 6 planet. I also bring, you'll see I bring red and orange stems, just for health, and also I need the boost. I bring food as well, just because some of the boss fights get a little tough, especially if you encounter like a pattern that you don't know. So like a lot of the bosses have, like, there's tons of different, like when the bosses are spawned, they have their own patterns of attack, right? And so every time you fight one, they're gonna have a different attack pattern, and I'm still to this day finding attack patterns I hadn't seen before. So you know, always be prepared. I'm pretty much ready to get wrecked. Like right here, this is so sad. I keep forgetting I have the spike ball on, and I keep forgetting that I don't move fast in the ball form. So I'm like rolling through fire and lava like a retard. But anyways, yeah, so also I bring the health augment. So I normally run the mobility augment, but I really enjoy the passive healing. And there's not a whole lot of like acrobatics and stuff like this that you really need in these ancient. So it turns out I've been saying that word wrong my entire life, as you guys pointed out. It's ancient, not ancient. So today I learned. But yeah, these vaults, you really don't need mobility stuff. So either just put it into like a damage augment or a health augment or something like that. Maybe like a glowing augment or something if you feel kind of brave. I don't know, but I enjoy the passive healing because sometimes I get overwhelmed. You'll occasionally find there's like little traps. Like you'll fall into a spot, like a door will open, you'll fall into it, and the doors will shut around you, and you can't leave until you kill everything. And I've actually died to that, I think once or twice already, to one of those traps where you just get sucked in there because you just get overwhelmed. If you're like using a gun, or if your melee weapon's not that good, you just get overrun and completely wrecked. But yeah, I will say these things are a lot more fun than I expected, because they're more difficult, you know. And something else I didn't know, but you guys will. I just found out this morning is what is it? The trophies, the trophy drop chance for monsters. So you guys know it's like a 0.1% chance normally, right? So you've got like 1 in 1,000 odds of every time you kill a monster, they'll drop something, right? And that's really shitty. In these vaults, it's like a 1% chance, so it's much higher. So when you go through these things, they have a much higher chance of you getting a trophy from a monster. So if you're looking for if you're trying to get a trophy, you're trying to get all of them, these things are a great way. They're much higher odds. You've got much better odds to kind of go through them and find the trophies you want to get. And also something that's kind of cool, I didn't know, and I don't know if it'll be that viable, but whenever you open a vault, you have to waste a key. But you don't have to, once you open it, you can close it. So like say you open it and it's a fire vault, and say you've already done the fire vault. You can close it and reopen it with another key, and it'll basically re-roll the vault. So and then it might be electric or ice or poison. You know, so I didn't know that. I was actually flying around the universe like looking for different ones of these gates. And it turns out you don't need to do that. You can just, you know, plop out another key. Although the keys are pretty expensive, I'll admit that. But anyways, I figured I want to talk about the channel. This is a great opportunity to talk about the channel, because as you guys know, I have been on a bit of a hiatus it's been, you know, there's lots of reasons for what's been going on. One thing is that I have a job I am in now, and they've got me traveling all the time. I've been really busy. I'm out of the state, you know, half the month now. And so when I was actually out of state when this update dropped to unstable, so I was just sitting in my hotel room like frothing at the mouth because I couldn't do anything. And you guys know they don't do the nightlies anymore, so I can't freaking do that. And that's the other half, is you know, a long time ago, you guys remember, if you've been here on my channel for a while, you know that we used to do the nightlies all the time. Like, nightlies we did them every single day, or not almost every, well, maybe not every day, but, you know, we did several a week, and so that was good, because then I had good interaction. I could consistently bring you guys videos, show you guys stuff. You didn't have to bother updating to unstable or nightly to, you know, bother crashing your game or anything like that. I could just show it to you. And then they started kind of dwindling off. We'd get like 1 or 2 a week. Then we started getting like 1 a week. Then we got 1 every 2 weeks. And then when this update started happening, we didn't get any. Like, they straight up did not give us any nightlies at all for the entire duration of this update. And while it has been fun, like, you know, you don't know what they're going to make, and you know, it's completely out of left field. The whole terraforming thing caught everyone off guard, and, you know, these vaults, like, I had a little bit of a hunch of what these would be about, but, you know, there's still a lot we didn't know. But I really wish they would have taken on the idea of doing the nightlies at least once a week. Like, they could just change it to a weekly, I don't care. But what you're going to find out is I've already found a bug with the bosses in these vaults that I would have found it out really quick if this had been a nightly thing. These bugs wouldn't be there. Like, something it was pretty easy to find. If there were people to play test it and figure it out, that would have never made it into the stable build. And as of recording this, the stable build actually dropped like an hour or 2 ago. So I just, and yeah, it's a little bit selfish reasons as well, because, you know, if we had more nightlies, I could put out more videos. So part of it is that, but part of it is also that we would have a legitimately better game if we had nightlies every time, or at least weeklies, so we could play test and find the bugs, because there's nothing more frustrating than, you know, getting to a final boss. So for instance here, something you guys are going to find out, I know a lot of you like having pets with you, but if you have a pet, it tends to break the boss, or at least the boss room. Sometimes the bosses won't focus on you. Like I brought a Lumoth with me for lighting, and the boss, like, he didn't, not that he targeted the Lumoth, he just didn't target anything. And so he was just sitting there, which made easy pickings for me. And then the other time I noticed is that the rooms that you go in, they're based off of, like, the rooms don't open until every monster in the room is dead. And if you didn't know any better, like, what happens is you have your pet out and you finish the boss off and the room doesn't open. You're trapped in there. You have to actually recall your pet, or they won't let you leave. So it was, you know, that was something that would have been caught immediately. You know, it blows my mind that it actually got through anyways, but that's something we would have figured out real fast, and it's something that's really easy to fix. And, you know, they can easily do a like a little hot patch or something like that, a quick fix. But, you know, it's stupid that made it in at all, you know, and I think the nightlies would definitely fix that. So anyways, what are we at? It's almost 8 minutes now. Most of these things, I would say an average is about 10 to 15 minutes to get through them. I've had one that took me like 20, and you occasionally find ones where, like, you wander around and the boss room is just really close to you immediately, and you get really lucky. I think I had one I found it like within like a minute, which is pretty insane. But this one here, this one's about average. The boss on this one, like, this boss fight was not that hard. I'll admit, this one, some of them are crazy hard. Like, it's really hard to know their attack patterns. That's what I really appreciate about this is, you know, you go into the other bosses, like the pre-made ones, and, like, you know what the Ixodoom's attack pattern is going to be. Like, you know what the Bone Dragon's attack pattern is going to be. These guys, because it's randomly generated, you'll never pretty much, you're very unlikely to fight the same boss twice. And when you do, like, you have to change your playstyle every single time you change up against one of these new guys. So for me, I always try to come in prepared. Like, I bring food with me. I always try to bring orange stems, because I've noticed that some of the bosses have a tremendous amount of health, like a ton of health. Like, they don't have any shields or anything, or any, like, super hard minions, but they have so much health and they take much longer to fight and wear down. Whereas some just rely on a shield, and they don't take. I don't know. You'll find that some of these bosses are extraordinarily hard, and some are, you know, like, you can beat them in under a minute. But I think I get really close. I think we're like around like 10 or 11 minutes. I find the boss on this one. And yeah, I think you guys should see a new video out covering the elemental resistances and weaknesses, because it's a little bit more complicated than, well, not complicated. It's just more. It's not quite what I expected was going to be. I thought it was going to be like Pokemon, and it's not quite like that. So, anyways, one thing I do love with the bosses, like I was saying before, are with them being randomly generated, you pretty much never encounter the same bosses more than once. But what really gets annoying is I was considering, yeah, this drove me nuts. You guys know my custom weapon series and all the projectiles. I basically mix and match like weapon abilities, you know, different parameters about those abilities. And I was so ready to make a new episode of custom weapons using some of these boss attacks. But it turns out a lot of these aren't boss attacks. Like according to like the game, they're not like really projectile attacks that I can put on guns. They're actually called boss abilities, and I can't slap them on a gun. So it makes it really difficult. I already went through and tried. There's a couple of them, like there's a couple of projectiles I can put on a gun, but it's not really enough to do a full episode. If I come up with something, I'll definitely put a new video out. But okay, here we are. We're at the end, and I'm gonna see if I can show you like the difference in like one of these boss attacks and boss abilities. So, like you see the little pick in one hand. Sometimes they'll have two picks, sometimes they'll have no pick, sometimes, but the pick's like a punch. You see, he like rears it back and he like swings at you like that. And so the pick is like a boss ability, right? So you can't use that projectile. And also this little guardian he just summoned, that's also a boss ability. So you can't like hook that up to a gun. And now you'll see this guy here. This one's pretty easy. He doesn't have a lot of health. His shield breaks like virtually instantly. Like I think it only absorbs like one shot. You'll see as soon as it pops up, I pretty much instantly break it. This little pogo stick thing, I'm not sure if that is like a body type or what. Like I want to try to figure out what different pieces of the boss lead to what different abilities, you know. Like so we know the pick has the punch, and the hand summons in like a sometimes it summons in allies, and sometimes it like does this like weird laser thing. I don't know. And so I'm thinking the different bodies of the different heads like dictate their abilities. There's one where it has this like bouncing laser that bounces around the room, and it's insane. So here we are finishing him up with the sword, and yeah, he's basically done. I haven't gotten very lucky getting the micro terraformers. It's a 50-50 chance to get one. But anyways, that's going to wrap up today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please rate, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later.